Hi everybody, Tony here from Dynamic Digital Creations. On to my next kit, which I've been showing on my Facebook page, and it's been on my website showing upcoming kits. It's been well over a year since the previous kit, which was the BSG, the full Galactica. This is a kit I've been wanting to have since 1978, although not this specific version. This is the Razor Raider, or also seen in Blood and Chrome. What I want to do is just go over the parts for you and just quick idea on preparation of the parts, clean up, and then just show how it goes together. This kit only has a couple of main parts, which makes it pretty easy to build. Cleanup took me under an hour of just sanding the edges where the resin, where the mold comes together. So I've cleaned them up. There's a couple of parts I have not cleaned up, which I will show you what they are. It's just the lower two engines or intakes, but these are the two main sections. Okay, and they are actually made to fit in together because there's a little tab that fits into a little hole over there, and it clips in. So this needs to be glued together. So out of the whole model, you only need to glue 3 things on, and then it's your choice to glue the rest of it on. Depends if you're going to add lighting or not. So on the lower end, you got your little front, then that's a little detail section, and then it goes in over here, slides in there. Okay, so that needs to be glued on. Maybe not even. I mean, once you glue these two together, this can sit in loosely. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, and then to close this gap, there's this like a joiner piece, I call it. Okay, and this, okay, you see there's a little notch over here that actually fits in. Okay, so it sits in like that. So I've left a little gap over here for we're going to run wiring to the back end. Okay, so that there gets glued on, that there gets glued in, and then this here comes over the top, like so. Okay, it's a bit fiddly without glue or without rubber bands. You can test fit everything by putting rubber bands around the elastic bands around the main body. There are gaps over here, which you'll need to fill up with filler. Okay, so comes together. Okay, so once you have these together, that's basically the main body sorted. On this, you will find the sanding areas around the edge, around the main body, and I think it's around the top, but I hardly saw any area to sand down on this piece. Okay, it's a very nice mold, big mold, a lot of resin, it's quite heavy. Okay, so then from there, you got your wings, left and right wing. This is the left one, and it's got the integrated badge on it. Although I don't recall in the series if it was actually colored or not, but I know the original Cylon, that was green. Okay. This kit is a 1:32 scale, so it'll fit in pretty well with a Mobius model if you want the collection, or with any other 32 scale models. On this one, some of these molds were quite difficult. This one had a bubble on each left and right. This is where your gun module fits inside, which just needs to be sanded out with a small drum sander. Okay, there's a couple other parts that have the same thing. I'll show you those as I go through them. But it's not an issue. They're not in the way of the build. All the bubbles that you find that was part of the mold aren't on parts that are visible. They're all closed up by sections of the model. Okay, I haven't found many. Okay, so from there you have your top central section, which is this one. I did a lot of modifications on the printed parts by grinding out. You see that they're not equal, same on both sides, but don't worry, this is not seam. This can further be modified to actually place it on top with a magnet if you want. So you can actually get to an area here where you can maybe add electronics, batteries. I think it's possible. But this basically slides in. Once these are together, it slides in quite easily. You can actually hold it together in a way. Okay. So maybe magnets on the bottom. But there will be a gap over at the bottom to add lighting, electronics, wiring. Okay. And then behind this, let me leave that in, is this rear section that holds the engines. Okay, it's got a little intake here. There's one little bubble over here. And like I said, it's not seen too much, but this can be easily closed. Okay, there's no other bubbles on this one. And this is a first casting, so I'll just make sure I rotate the molds better when I do the pouring. Okay, so this here goes like such, and then this goes on top. And then these notches go into these holes. Okay, so it's off the body, clips in like such. Okay, and these also had very minimal cleanup. This one around the edge, like the other one over here. There are areas where I used that with the filling and the drain holes, just clear them out, just sand them down. I didn't do this one, so simple as that, it's gone. Okay. This has been primed. I've cleaned it. Okay, all the parts, clean them with dishwashing soap and a small scrubber. Okay, not a scrubber that will scratch it, but just something to wash the dishes with, just to get the mold release off. And then I primed it. Okay, so it was along the edge over here and around the edge. And this one, same over here and along the bottom and around here. Now you see on this one, I cleared out bubbles that had formed on the inside over here. Now this part is not seen because it's completely covered, but I just cleared them out anyway. These are part of the mold, so you'll have them. Okay, you can leave them or you can sand them out. Okay, but like I said, it's a very complex mold that I had to do for this piece. Okay. Next is your lower engines. I haven't cleaned them properly yet, so you get your lower engines. Okay, and all of these parts that have these little thrusters, like this top one has it, but they part of the mold. But the lower ones, as you see in the TV series, they actually light up. So you get a clear part, 4 of them, for the 4 lower thrusters. So if you want to add lighting, drill a hole through, and then you can insert that piece, and it'll be lit up. Okay, all the smaller parts like the interior of the cockpit and the other small bits I will show in a separate video. Okay, I'm just here concentrating on the larger parts. Okay, so like this one here, you haven't cleared up yet. You can see the plastic. Okay, so that just comes off. It's literally gone. I mean, it probably doesn't even need sanding, but okay. So even without me sanding these, I've already tested them. The lower end, where the engine goes in. Okay, so this is an unsanded piece straight out the mold, as is. All I did was I just sanded down the drain pipe over here so that it can be smooth. So I'm inserting it. Then this literally just clips in the lower one and it won't come out. Okay. So you could even put batteries in there, or electronics. And it closes up. Okay. Nice detail on the side. Okay, no bubbles on this part. Okay, there, I think it focused. Okay. Then you have your rear engines. Take this off. So these two. Okay, these had bubbles, same as the other part, that's part of the mold on the inside, which I've sanded down. It wasn't many. They're actually round bubbles. You can actually scrape them off and then just sand a few. So try and scrape it off. They'll come loose from the resin. Okay, so these basically keep the back end together. You can, once these are glued together, you can clip the whole model together without any glue. Okay, so these basically they just slide into this area. Okay, so you're going to need to sand these bubbles out. Okay, because this has to slide into that area. Okay, this one. And it's got a little area over here which holds onto the back of the body and holds it on. Okay, and from there we're going to go to the canopy. This this might have bubbles on the bottom because of the mold. Very small. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, tiny. You can close them up or you can leave them. I'm going to leave them because you don't see it. As for the gap between the slats, I'm going to use a very small file and open it up. It's very thin resin, so you can actually look inside if you want to. It's not necessary to do. That's up to you. But this it can be removed, so it fits into the body. Okay, and it can be set in the open position as well. So the one you exit or into the cockpit, and then your cockpit base, okay, where all your detail will go onto. That's printed parts, the Cylons and the chairs and the console, etc. And this fits quite easily. Okay, the commander sits in the back. Okay, so this doesn't have to be glued in, it can also be removable. Okay, but it fits in pretty well. Okay, then as for the stand, I don't have the stand parts here, but they will be clear acrylic plastic cut. That's as like the Galactica model. You need a piece of wood with slats cut in, and then it will stand on it. It's quite a heavy model, so that's my preferred way of doing it now. I think I'm going to stick to that method of making stands for the kits, unless I think of something more workable. Okay, so so next video I'll be showing the cockpit and the clear parts, and then I might get further on this on the actual putting this together, because what I want to do now is in the next video of these parts, I'm going to have these parts together, this piece and your base, this one. Okay, you'll see that once this is together, there's a gap over there. Okay, that is because for some reason because this consists of 4 parts as a print, it didn't come together properly. I had to modify it. What you can do is put the top parts on to try and straighten it out before you put the glue on, but I'll see how I did it and I'll explain how I did it, but they do come together pretty well. Okay, and then one more thing on this, there's a little gaps in the front for lights, which is over here. Okay, so you get 2 lights. Mine have got little bubbles in them. I'm not sure if this is part of the mold or not, or just the way I poured the resin. It's not a big issue there. I can use a small drum sander on the Dremel and just Dremel it out to put those lights in. So if you have bubbles in here, don't ask me to replace this piece, because I mean this is easy to drill out. If you're going to add lights to this, I don't know how it'll be done. Maybe drill a hole this direction and then this direction, and then run the cable. but it is possible there will be clear lights. Okay. And then I'll also make a separate video from the one I just mentioned on the gun module, okay, which goes in here. Okay. There is an option if you want to add wiring, a wire or a rod to strengthen the wings, which runs through the gun module, and it runs also through the wings. So there's a hole over here, and there's a hole, sorry, only over here. Okay. Sorry, there's one also on the gun module. Okay, the gun module has a hole in it. I don't think it's necessary. I just added it in there in case you want to strengthen it. But I put everything together on the printed parts, and it held very well without anything. Okay, so yeah, till the next video. So I'm going to glue these together, glue everything together, and then make the other videos as I go along. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.